What's up YouTube? My name is Adam Williams. If you've been to my channel before, welcome back. If you haven't, welcome. Last week I made a video about getting a new pair of skates. Quick summary, I used to skate when I was younger. I stopped from it for about 8 or 10 years and recently I've got back into it. If you want to know about that, go watch my old video. Links in the description, well worth a watch. Makes all of this make a lot more sense. Anyway, so this week I want to talk to you about flow. To anyone that's never skated before, it mostly means nothing. Like, it didn't to me when I was younger. So I started skating when I was 9 years old. So that was in like 1994, 95. And as I said in the last video I made, I started skating because my sister had a pair of skates. So when I got my own, I obviously started going out skating in my local area. There was a really cool car park. Yeah, car parks. There was a really cool car park down at the seafront of where I grew up. I grew up in a place called Gosport, which is near Portsmouth in the UK. I used to skate down there and it was all curb skating. There was a really cool family that used to come down and they used to bring ramps down and stuff. So there was one of the original skate parks in the UK in the neighbouring city Portsmouth. So I used to go to Southsea Skate Park a lot. But back then you didn't have the culture that you have now, like with all the videos and stuff like that. I think the first video I ever saw with a rollerblader in it was, I think it was called Dirty Tricks and Cunning Stunts. It was actually a mountain bike video, or it was a trials bike video. It had Martin Ashton and Martin Hawes in it, and there was this big long rail, and it just, yeah, that was the first thing. But you didn't really see what you see now, and the whole kind of idea of flow, sure, your Chris Edwards and Manuel Billerus, I think that was his name. Manuel Billerus. It's been a long time. Those guys, they skated there, and you can see now looking back what they were, you know, the element of flow in their skating. But you didn't really talk about it. Now in modern day, flow is quite an important thing. So I thought I would talk about it and give my kind of perspective on it, because I think it's something that if you're new to this, and you know, sure, I'm coming back, you know, but I'm coming back after a break, but I still remember all the things I used to remember. So I want to share those things with people, you know, as they come to mind, because I think if you're new to this and you don't know these things, it's just cool to know things. So I guess the first time I kind of picked up on the idea of flow was when, I don't know, I must have been about 14 years old. There'd been a skate park built in my hometown where I grew up, and I met a guy called Sean. I mentioned him in my last video. He ended up becoming a really close friend of mine for a very, very long period of time. I didn't know what it was, but it was watching him skate mini ramp. We had this tiny little 2-panel mini ramp. Like, it was so thin, like you could barely get in anything on that. It's not like the ramps today, like it was tiny, but the way he moved on that ramp, I'd never seen anyone skate a mini ramp like that. It was smooth, it was fluid, and prior to this I hadn't really been a kid for watching all the skate videos, so I think I'd watched Hoax 2 when I was younger. Yeah, and I maybe watched a couple of ASAs, but that was about it. It wasn't until I met him that he was, you know, he had the original video grooves and stuff like that. So when I saw him skate for the first time properly on a mini ramp, I was enamoured of the idea that you could just move from one trick to another in this flowing nature, making it all look natural from one trick to the next. That really did kind of, I don't know, it highlighted something that I hadn't seen before, and I was really interested by it. So then we fast forward a few years, and I've been learning tricks and I've been doing things with my friends and starting to go on some skate trips, and I think there was a few key rollerbladers out there that were really, like, I don't know, they really ticked the boxes for me, and one of them was Dustin Latimer. Now everybody knows, or everybody in the rollerblading world knows who Dustin Latimer is. Like, he's Dustin Latimer. So it was his section in the Mind Game video Bang that just changed everything to me. He was doing these like little jibs and cess slides and techie things that, like, all of a sudden I was just like, okay, not only can you do these smooth fluid maneuvers and motions on a ramp, but you could do it on the floor. And that was an eye-opener for me. And from that point, like, that changed everything. I started to pick up on skaters like Jeff Stockwell, and then the mushroom blading thing just started, and that's not what it is now. Like, when that first started, those guys they were pioneering something that nobody really had seen or paid much attention to, and then at that point, I don't know, it wasn't seen the way it is now. At least to the people that I knew, it wasn't seen in the way it is now. But there was like those guys doing their thing, and then I think his name was Matthew Ledoux. There was a film on BBC, I think, where he was highlighted as this like parkour rollerblader. Again, it was like another level of flow. It just, that time, I think you can ask a lot of rollerbladers, and around the kind of 2003-4 era through to 2012. That was the era of development. Like, that period set the bar. That changed the game then. I think at that time, when all those videos are coming out, so Leading the Blind and Bang, and The Meantime, that was another one. I'll be making a video soon about some of the like really influential videos that really shaped my rollerblading. But that was the point where I realised that flow was super important, and it almost like flow was more important than the trick for me. Like, I spent time learning tricks. You know, that's what you do as a rollerblader, especially at a skate park. But I guess I'd never shined at going street skating or anything like that. So I kind of focused on the idea of being smooth and fluid and flowy. And to be fair, stepping away from rollerblading for a second, that was a big thing even in my cycling. It was all about that flow, that smooth, that being fluid in riding. But yeah, so for rollerblading, it was all about the flow and not about the trick so much. It wasn't about lacing the biggest hammer or trying to dial in the techiest switch up. It was about flowing around a park. And I think there was a point, I can't remember what it was, maybe 2005, I think. The local skate parks, the local council, they put in a bowl, and it was like the first concrete bowl. It was in the first generation of concrete parks coming to life, and this was just a bowl that had been sunk in the ground next to a metal skate park. But then having that, it was a square bowl, it wasn't anything special, but that just further kind of bolstered the flow state thing and being flowy in my skating. So I think, yeah, from early days, at least from the really formative moments within my kind of blading life, it was important. So coming back to blading, like I said before, I have kept up on the media, but it was very focused on the people that I knew. So I followed Jeff Stockwell, Chris Haffey, so I followed all the big names and kept up on when Brian Aragon had retired and stuff like that, but I hadn't really kind of gone into it in too much detail. Coming back to it, I found the Jump Street podcast. Those guys, Austin Paz and Billy O'Neill, they're doing like amazing things with that podcast. If you don't know about it, you should go check those guys out. But they had Leon Basin. He was on their podcast, and I listened to his conversation and the talk of wizard frames or wizard skating, and I kind of was interested to go and find out what that was all about. And little did I know, like, the whole thing, like, it blew me away. And Leon's skating is mesmerising. Like, that epitomised flow for me. It was just incredible. So you've got like him doing his thing with the wizard skating. On top of that, you've got the mushroom blading guys doing their thing with him, and you know, the big wheel videos. Just like, yeah, those guys were amazing. In the last week or two, I've been really kind of exploring all the avenues of, you know, watching that flow state that people get into and watching them flow around the park, flow around the streets. There's some UK guys like Cy Coburn that are doing like really cool stuff on their Instagram. Like, go check those guys out. They all use like Insta360 cameras, so it's all 360 stuff. Yeah, like proper cool, just bombing streets. But what this has led me to think about is, on my back to blading journey at the moment. I'm very aware that I am in my 30s now, I'm 34, I haven't done this for a long time and I'm nowhere near as flexible as I used to be, and I need to take it steady, but there still needs to be enjoyment to it. Like, there's no point trying to jump into doing like 450 back royales or something like that, because first of all, I'm not that interested in doing that, but also it's not really achievable at this point. I'm just going to hurt myself. So flow has become something that I'm really interested in. I think it's really important to my skating to have that fluidity and have that flow, and whether that be going out for my morning skates and, you know, cruising around the city of Norwich. This place is beautiful, and going out in the morning with a coffee in hand, just chilling the streets and cruising, going to the cathedral, like, that's going to have no end of benefits to getting my confidence back, getting my abilities back. But not only that, I want to learn that real smooth skating style around a park, being able to move from one place to another and it looking natural. I'm pretty certain this guy's going to be in all my videos in some way, whether that's chomping on bones or crying at doors, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so flow's going to be really important, I think, and I'm going to focus on that. So the week just gone, you saw at the beginning of the video, by the way, I will include more actual skating as time goes on. I've got some cool ideas on how I'm going to kind of start including this into my videos and how I'm going to like document that, because I want to, this is what this is about for me. It's about documenting my journey of getting back to blading, being confident, enjoying it, all those kind of things. Two things that I'm really keen to kind of focus on is getting my flow back in skating around. Like, so I'm gonna, when the weather's nice, I'm gonna get out in the mornings before I have to work. I'm very lucky that I work from home, have done for a while now, so I can go out in the mornings and start my work day at a normal time. But also I'm going to try and get to the skate park as much as I can. It's a busy skate park, so again, early morning sessions are important if I want to get that development in. You can see in those initial clips that I obviously haven't forgotten everything, but I've got a long way to go. So I'm really excited to take you on that journey and show you kind of how this develops and how this flow builds up before we start moving into other stuff. Anyway, Alan wants my attention. I guess it's the nature of having an 8-month-old puppy. So I'm going to call it a day here, but if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. It'd mean the world to have you follow me on my journey. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.